Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're going to do a quick discussion real quick. Or try to make it quick, sorry. This isn't going to be a very long one. This might be about a couple hours long. I'm not too sure. But we're going to talk about the tragic death of Charlie Kirk 1 month later. Honestly, he had a big influence on me, more than people realize. It's one of the reasons why I was talking about him so much and still want to talk about it. Look, I know people think it's okay now to threaten violence, and it's not okay. I want to make that very clear. It's not. Just because you disagree with somebody does not mean they deserve to die. Right? Just because you have some sort of ideological difference to somebody doesn't mean, they deserve to die. You can't just be the executioner because you say so, right? It's narcissistic to even think that you should be, right? And we're living, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of the left anymore. The left has become too comfortable. And I don't know if it's because of social media. They feel very comfortable wanting somebody dead. I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, this is 1 month later. Obviously, he is just one person at the end of the day. There are people dying right now due to, innocent people are dying, and it sucks due to these wars. And I'm glad to see a ceasefire. What was it, between Gaza and Israel? But at the same time, we gotta just. I'm not somebody who likes violence. I think it's counterproductive. It's not that. It's just unethical. It leaves people broken. I think it leaves people very broken. Not only the soldiers who have to commit the violence on behalf of their government, that wrecks them. It wrecks plenty of people. Wrecks the lives. It just war is just a net negative to society. And the sooner to every society, to everyone. And the sooner we realize it, the better. Yeah. We got a few people in the chat. Some of these people, I'm not going to say their names. Because their names are, how do we say it, inappropriate? I'm not saying that name, dude. I'm not saying that username, bro. I'm just not doing it, dude. Not doing it. But it's good to see everybody here. We talk about Charlie a month later. And I'm just trying to figure it out, man. I still to this day, it was one of those things that did shock the heck out of me. Give me one moment, though. So, I mean, what does it mean for freedom of speech at the end of the day? And we're still trying to figure that out. I mean, it's not, I just want to make it clear, just because people on social media think it's okay. By the way, social media is the lowest common denominator, in my opinion, of communication these days. They should really call it anti-social media because it doesn't promote socialization at all. It just promotes people putting their point of view. It's really just at the end of the day a very fancy forum, a very fancy forum. So if you go on Facebook and stuff, that's a good one. Give me 1 second, folks. Just doing something real quick. Thank you for the donation, my brony brother. We got plenty of brony brothers in the house today. Make sure you guys simp subscribe to the channel. We need more simps, and we need more pimps, really, at the end of the day. But thank you guys for the Vine. I'm just checking something real quick. But at the end of the day, I do want to also hear everybody's takes and what they believe at the end of the day. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button first and foremost. More subscribers we get, the better. But yeah, what we're seeing today is too many people are way okay with political violence. We should not be okay. This should not be normal. When should it ever be normal to hurt somebody for believing something that you don't believe in, right? Even if, let's just say Charlie Kirk was everything that you claimed he was. You said maybe, let's say he was pro whatever you people out there are claiming he is. If he has beliefs that are radical or terrible, he has a right to those beliefs. He never, even if he was, he's not, obviously. He's not a terrible person. In fact, ironically, he was a better person than a lot of the leftists I've ever met. So I'll tell you that. And I'm not happy with it. I'm still pissed off about it. It's like, how do you just make it work, you know? And so I'm pro Charlie Kirk, man. I'm pro everything he stood for. Not everything, actually. But, you know, I wanted him to be able to say everything he wanted to say. And for some a-hole out there to silence him the way they did is just wrong. And it is wrong. And I hope, sadly, there are some people out there who just don't agree. And you don't have to, obviously. But if we want to live in a better world, we got to stop saying that. We got to stop promoting violence. Violence is wrong, you guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it except for anybody who advocates for it can just please just shut up. You know, 1 month later, and when I saw the video footage of him getting shot, it made me sick to my stomach. I think what hurts the most about that happening to him is I keep thinking about his family. You know, for all the disagreements I've ever had with my father, if I saw somebody take out my own father like that, like, you got to think about this from a certain perspective, man. Imagine that you were his kid and you see your dad get shot on a stage. That goes for everything else too. Imagine seeing your father die in any scenario. It's sick. It's disgusting. It's not a good thing. So what happened to Charlie? Because Charlie's a father, and if you guys can't see that, if you guys are so politically motivated that you can't see the what's that term? If you can't see the trees from the forest, I don't know. Yeah, Kirk was amazing, dude. But for you to call basically avian, you're basically trying to compare him to Hitler. That's wrong. Stop it. I think the reason it still gets to me is because I actually did want to meet him one day. Like, I really legitimately wanted to be able to shake that man's hand one day. I knew it probably could never happen, but he was one of the reasons why I kept my YouTube channel going. Because I saw what he was doing with Turning Point USA, and I thought, well, he's not giving up on it. You know, plenty of people had told him that he was basically stupid. I've had a lot of doubters in my life, a lot, and so has he. And I found a certain kinship to that, even though we've never met, obviously. And I looked at him from afar, obviously, through his videos, and I just saw what he was trying to do, and he believed in what he believed in. You know, and I was like, you know, I'm going to believe in what I believe in, too. I believe that I can help people invest a little bit better, you know, educate people. Teach them not to be gamblers and teach them to be real investors, not stupid day traders. Even though I swing trade, you know, I just... But, you know, I mean, just everybody has their different feelings on it, and he was like I said, one heck of an inspiration to me, and a heck of an inspiration to a lot of people. He's just one of the best, man. He's just one of the best. So what are your guys' thoughts on Charlie Kirk? I mean, like, was he an inspiration to you guys? Did he, did you see his stuff and just think, well, this guy's the man, dude. This guy's the man. Or did you guys not think that? You know, do you guys think that he was... I see people in chat basically comparing him to terrible, terrible people. I don't get it, man. Like, no matter how much you disagree with somebody, no matter how much you disagree with them, they don't deserve to die for having beliefs that are different than yours. It's true. It makes me sick. It makes me sick, honestly, that so many people seem just to be okay with it, man. So why were his abortion opinions wrong? I don't get that. I'll be right back. But yeah, like I'll go on Facebook groups. Actually, you know what? Let's check out Facebook groups. Let's see what sort of dumb people are on there right now. So there's one called What's Up Coos County. And these people are like the lowest common denominator you could ever think of. Hold on. Oh, dude, my boy Ethan's back in the arena, dude. Hell yeah. What a beast. Give me 1 second, dude. Give me a second. Give me 1 second, everybody. Hold on. I gotta drink some juice. But yeah, anyway. So, I mean, Charlie was one of those dudes that he believed what he believed. Whether he's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Whether you think he's the devil, even if you do think he's the devil, even if you think he's whatever, he deserved to live a life. All right. Instead, his children basically saw him die on the stage. I'm still messed up about that, man. You know, I think if his wife and kids were not there that day, I mean, that moment in time is forever scarred and etched in their minds. Just like with anybody who's ever had to see... Ugh. It's disgusting, man. I'm lucky I've never had to face that. I think a lot of us are lucky that we've never had to face that. There may be some people who have in the chat, and it's not even meant to be insensitive to you. I'm sorry if you have. But we should not just be thinking that this is okay. I think if you think that Charlie's death was justified, then you hate America, and you should just... I hope you just go to another country. Because other countries, they would throw you off a building, probably. In this country, you at least have the ability to make fun of your leaders. And look, you have the right to mock the death of Charlie if you really want to, but I think it's a bad taste. I think it's in bad taste. And I just hope you can look yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I shouldn't want anybody to die because I disagree with them. And like the old saying goes, they don't call you fascist because you are one. They call you fascist so they have an excuse to kill you and do harm to you. That's the point. So if anybody calls you a fascist or a Nazi and there's no justification for it, they're just trying to find a way to harm you, is really it. So this is why nobody wants to vote for the left, because the left is beyond saving. I'll never vote Democrat again, that's for sure. Like, I would, even though I'm not a fan of the conservative party either, I would rather vote conservative than ever in my life. The left lost me forever. Like, there's been so many things. There's no way in hell. I think that if you are running as a Democrat, I'm not voting for you. Period. End of story. Like, that's just how I am. That's my political opinion at this point. I will vote for any other party but Democrat. First off, I don't even believe democracy is a good thing. I think democracy is a shitty idea. I always have believed, I wouldn't say always, but in my older adult life, I realized that democracy is majority rule. And majority rule is not actually a good thing. Majority rule leads to people with pitchforks and killings. It's not good. It's not a pretty thing. So, it's messed up, man. No, here's the thing. I believe everybody should have the opportunity to vote. I don't think you understand what a democracy and a constitutional representative republic is. So at the federal level, we are not a democracy on the federal level. On a state-by-state basis, we actually are. So on a state-by-state basis, we're a democracy because for each state, it's majority rule. So we vote on who our representatives are, and we vote for who our senators are, right? So when they're voted in, they're at the Senate, they're at the House, they do their thing. Now, the reason that on a federal level a representative republic is so important is because change needs to be slow. The problem, our founding fathers realized that change happening too quickly and too rapidly is actually a bad thing, and it doesn't work with human beings. So, here's what I'm trying to say at the end of the day. We're a representative republic on the federal level. On the state level, when it comes to internal voting and stuff, it's a democracy. And that's the way it should be. Because centralized democracy is actually far more dangerous than people actually realize. And it's one of the biggest reasons for the fall of many cultures. All right? Many civilizations have fallen due to implementing democracy at the more centralized level. So that's another reason why I can't vote for Democrats, is because I fundamentally don't believe in the concept of democracy. I believe majority rule on a very large scale is actually detrimental. Now, majority rule on a small scale, however, local communities, blah, 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 that's okay. I'll accept that. But on a large scale, no, democracy is a stupid idea. We're a representative republic at the federal level, and we should be. We should remain that way. Yeah, the problem is this when it comes to voting, and here's the thing. This is one of the reasons why we have the checks and balances. This is one of the reasons why we have the three branches. You know, the legislative, executive, and judicial. Those matter. Those matter, and they do keep things in check. Those branches do keep things in check. Thank you, Zombie Blood. I do have very nice baby blues. I appreciate that. But what I'm really trying to get at the end of the day is this. What happened to Mr. Kirk was wrong. And I'm saddened. It does sadden me to see people who are for what happened. You know what I mean? I don't understand that. I just don't understand how people can be so messed up. But at the same time, I understand humanity is humanity. And that happens. What are you talking about, Brony Brothers? But yeah, if anybody has anything they really want to say, we're doing super chats only for the time being. So if anybody wants to be highlighted and read first, super chat away. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Subscribe right here. And we'll go. But yeah, I think what I'm trying to get at ultimately is the death of Charlie was not needed. It was not necessary, and whether people choose to admit this or not, it was wrong. It was flat out wrong and disgusting. And the real joke are the people who think it's a good thing. The people who think it's a good thing, you're the joke. At the end of the day, you're the joke. And if you think that the death of Charlie Kirk was a positive thing, you're a joke. You're a joke. I wish you nothing but the best, actually. Seriously. I want to see people succeed, even if they're jerks. You know, I don't even want anything bad to happen to anybody. There's a lot of people I disagree with, but it makes me sick to think that anything bad could happen to them. You know? And I don't understand why more people can't think that way. Instead, we're so polarized. We're so focused on, you know, people's politics, and we just can't look past our own ego, our own. You know what I mean? I think it's narcissism. I think people who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death are actually peak narcissists. If you think that him dying was necessary, you're a narcissist. I'm sorry. You're just a sick, disgusting narcissist. So, yeah. Fresh Prince, French, why do you keep talking about yourself, dude? So, Fresh Prince is clearly talking about himself because he's a creep. Hey, I don't have anything on my face. What's on my face? What is on my face? Do I need to wear more makeup? Is the question. I think Charlie was a good man. And I think that people who wanted to see harm to him were not good people. I think that people who wanted to see harm to a good person, he was a good person, you guys, is what I'm trying to get at. And if we celebrate the death of people who disagree with us, we're not good people. That's just the truth. So if you are celebrating someone's death, you're not a good person. I think it's just bad. I think it's just, if karma exists, it's bad karma. It's just not good, man. Even people I despise, even people I'm like, ugh, go away. Like, I couldn't imagine wanting, I want to see them succeed too, oddly enough, even if I don't like them. I want to see them live a happy life. But, you know. What are my thoughts on the marijuana? I'm not a big fan of weed. I'm not a fan of weed at all. I'm really, you know, I have people in my life who smoke it, and you know, good for them. Good for them. I'm not like a anti-weed person. For me personally, I'm anti-weed because I don't like smoking it. But for me, I don't do edibles. I don't even really touch CBD at all. I just kind of accept that life has pain in it and pleasure. And I kind of just make sure that I embrace both pain and pleasure. The more I embrace both of those concepts, the better I am, and the more I can handle them. But I do think, do people need an escape from time to time? I think accomplishment is a good form of escapism. Hear me out on this, because when I accomplish something, man, I get my dopamine rush going. You know. FSX, what were you trying to say in the super chat, by the way? Because I haven't received any super chats today, but sometimes it doesn't let you. So when you're sending a super chat, sometimes it won't actually let you say certain messages, per se. Depending on how much you're trying to donate, I think it's $2 or more. If you want to say something in a message, it's like $2 or more, I believe. So you may want to try doing that, if I remember correctly. I don't know what it will let you do, though. But also, YouTube does tend to block certain types of things that you say in there. So if you're saying anything about, like if you're saying anything about like death or shooting or anything like that. So when you say Charlie was a great man on there, like that's all you put on the super chat? Dude, that's crazy, and it wouldn't let you do. What was the dollar amount that you were trying to do, FSX? Because the dollar amount might have something to do with it. If it's like $1 or $1.50, I don't think it'll let you do it. But if it's $2 or greater, it might. I don't know. Let me know what sort of error message you're getting as well. If you're getting some kind of error, let me know. We'll kind of go from there. What did it do, though? Did it just tell you that you couldn't do it, or did it just stop you in your tracks or something? Definitely let me know what it let you do and what it wouldn't let you do. Because sometimes it can be a real pain in the rump, just a little bit. Maybe because you had, sometimes I think it doesn't let you do all caps for it. FSX, I'm not too sure. I mean, I have super chats enabled and I see the dollar sign right here. Try to make sure that great is not all capitalized. I think you can like for example, you could do capital G and then just lowercase REAT. I think it's because great is capitalized completely. I think YouTube is very strict on all caps for one word. I don't know why they are, but oh, okay. Well, there's the test. Boom. Well, thank you for the super chat, FSX. Hey, everybody, make sure you guys subscribe to FSX. FSX is an incredible dude. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. But yeah, let's that's weird that it couldn't send that message, though. I think it's because it's letting you do that. That's so weird, man. YouTube is strange, man. Great, yeah. Thank you, FSX, though, for those super chats. By the way, we're gonna keep your super chat up for a little bit. I just want to say thank you to FSX for the donation. We'll keep that up there for a bit. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. Let me go to let me get you guys the actual. Well, I appreciate the super chats, FSX, and FSX is saying, yeah, it was probably because of its name. Yeah, it's weird, dude. I mean, how would it even know that you're talking about Charlie Kirk? You know what I mean? Like, that's just so strange to me, brother. That's so weird. But I appreciate the supers, my man. Helps out a lot, and anytime we can get super chats, it does help the channel grow in many ways. It helps us stay up, keep the lights on. So I appreciate it, man. But everybody subscribe to my man here. I want to make sure that's actually visible. Thank you, FSX. I really appreciate it, man. Hell yeah. Timothy, Jim, Cameron, Alice. You're just trying to get a few names in there, see what happens. No, I appreciate it, FSX, for the super chats, though, man. We're just gonna keep these highlighted for a bit, just because we greatly appreciate it, and you're just helping the channel grow. I gotta check something real quick on the app. But yeah, I think overall, it just wanted to see disputes and arguments people get over the subject. Okay. Yeah, I think so too, dude. FSX is saying random names, just wanted to see what I could say. I think it's just Charlie at the moment, probably with all the disputes and arguments, people just over the subject guy. Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing. I think, anything worth talking about is worth arguing about. So I think it's sad that they do that, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you, FSX, for the super chats. I really greatly appreciate it, man. It helps us a lot. Helps keep the lights on, and it's incredible, bro. Thank you. But yeah, anybody got any good stories to tell about Charlie? Any, it's been a month. I still can't. It feels, honestly, it did feel like it was a little bit longer than a month. It felt like kind of a distant memory. It felt like it happened a lot longer ago. You know what I mean? As odd as it sounds, it's time is tricky. Sometimes it can feel like yesterday. Sometimes it can feel like it happened a while ago. But with Charlie's death, brother, I think that like I said, I think what really tore at my heart was just the fact that his kids had to witness that his kids and his wife had to witness that. And honestly, I think it's grown the Turning Point USA movement. A lot of people, even if they weren't really the biggest of fans of Turning Point, they're just like, yeah, we don't excuse that sort of thing at all. We just don't excuse it. Name a car for an edit. I don't know. Toyota Corolla. A 2020 Toyota Corolla sedan. Car 76 edits. You gonna get gonna give your boy a super? All right. But yeah, no, I think with Charlie, let's hope to, I would love to see his family, not, it's still weird to think that it all happened, and, but what can you do to make it better, right? I don't know. It's tough to say. But Charlie did not deserve that sort of fate. It's a messed up fate. It's a messed up fate. And I think it makes most conservatives very wary of even trying to debate college kids, because the irony is you go to college to try to be a little more open-minded, right? Instead, it seems to attract the most closed-minded people ever. Closed-minded to the point where they want to see harm to people who think differently than them. And they just want to call you a Nazi. They just want to call you a racist or fascist. It's messed up. And by the way, just because they tell you that you are those things doesn't mean you are. You should really bite back a little bit and be like, no, just because you tell me I am something does not mean it's true. It means you're a spoiled brat and you're probably a jerk. That's the best response. You don't need to, the best solutions are the nonviolent ones, the ones where you can peacefully negotiate. Now, obviously, sometimes you can't, but sometimes you can get a little sassy. If they're going to get sassy with me, I'll get a little sassy with them, Yeah, and a lot of these kids, man, like, ugh. A lot of people my age, for example, like, just is weird, dude. It's weird. But yeah, I love Charlie. I think he was a fantastic dude. Like I said, I would have loved to be able to meet him. That would have been incredible. But sometimes, you can't always get what you want on that one. And as much as I would have loved to be able to talk to him and really, really just tell him thank you. Thank you for encouraging me to continue to do this show. He was one of the big encouraging factors in me wanting to continue to do my show. And I could have gave up quite a while ago, man. I could have gave up a long time ago. But I didn't. And there's a lot of people who encouraged me, and they don't even realize it, to keep going. By the way, Tim Smith, all the way in Canada, is a big encouraging factor to me. I don't know if he's entirely aware of that, but he's one of the big encouraging factors for me to keep doing this show. Because there was a point where, I thought I might kind of give up and not put as much effort into it. And now that I've been putting more effort, more of my time into this show, the rewards have been great. The rewards have been fantastic. So you're saying that escalation is the biggest fundamental flaw of peaceful negotiation? Huh. I mean, that's the thing. It depends on who you're negotiating with. Not all negotiations are the same. Can you use certain negotiation tactics? Without a doubt, for sure. But not all scenarios really end up boiling down to be the same. So it gets a little tricky sometimes. I gotta go get some exercise here in about an hour. Probably gonna be live streaming here for about one more hour, and then I'm gonna vamoose and get some exercise. But yeah. Michelle Roberts says Charlie was open for dialogue with everyone. He didn't want to be paid per question. Yeah. And that's where he and I are different. But I mean, I'll read ones that are, even though I'm saying Super Chats exclusively, Super Chats do get the best highlights overall, and it helps fund the show. So. And who can say where my wiener goes? Only time. But yeah, what do you guys think, though? I know that I got a bit of a mixed crowd in the chats, but it's still, I'm not going to lie, it put me in a state of shock to see what happened to him, man. It was a state of living shock to me, what happened to Charlie, man. Like, even people I don't like, I can't imagine wanting, just tell me why people, like, if we all be, I don't know if it's the internet, but how can we be so desensitized? How can we be this desensitized? You tell me. And I don't necessarily blame the internet. What I really blame is the culture that we've all created collectively. And oddly enough, the internet was supposed to be the great uniter. And honestly speaking, it might have ended up resulting in being, ironically, the great divider. Social media specifically. I think social media, and here's the thing, I think the smartphone is another problem, right? We all have instant access at any time to see what our neighbors are doing, what people all around the globe are doing, and what happens is everybody essentially becomes our neighbor in a virtual scale. So because everybody's our neighbor on a virtual scale, especially with social media, we are seeing a very odd world, that I don't know if we're really prepared for. Because at the end of the day, we do have, this took about, 3 million something years? Quite a few million years to get to where we are today, right? To get this brain. And I don't know. It's a weird one. Okay, so even if, like, let's say Charlie, like this person said, had no empathy. Let's say he did, right? Let's say he was an unempathetic bastard and he had some problems, right? First off, I don't believe that, but let's hypothetically say he was that kind of person. You should still, even if somebody doesn't have empathy, feel... I just don't understand how people can't feel something. Can't feel a little terrible about somebody dying. That's pretty messed up. Especially when the death was because he believed in whatever he believed in. That's the messed up part about this, and I don't think you get that. Brad, by the way, Brad, you are an example of a desensitized person. I bet anybody could die, especially somebody in your life, and you maybe wouldn't care. That sucks. And you know what? I want to see you live a happy life if you can, and even if you can't, I hope you can at least live a purposeful one, you know? But we can't even wish for people to have better lives. If we disagree with somebody, it's sad because people will take one look at somebody, and if they disagree with them in any shape or form, they're looked at as the enemy these days. And that's the worst part about all this. It's pretty disturbing. Yeah, like I said, social media has been a big desensitizer. People have become so desensitized to the world. And I'm not just going to blame social media exclusively. I'm blaming everybody involved. I think we all have a say-so on how this world works to some degree. You know? And if we're all going to be so damn desensitized to everything, I just don't know what gives. I just don't know what to do at that point. It's kind of pathetic. By the way, even if somebody's done heinous things, I think people should at least have a fair shake at a trial at the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Even if they've done heinous things, preferably. I mean, look, if that guy was, obviously, those are two examples, of people who did terrible things. Yes, they did terrible things. By the way, the difference between Charlie Kirk and those people that you mentioned was that Charlie just said things. He didn't do terrible things. And by the way, I don't think anything Charlie said was ever that terrible. So even if he did say terrible things, there's a big difference between saying something and doing something. And clearly you're not adult enough to understand the difference, dude. Sorry, you're just not. And there's a difference between words and actions. And if you can't figure out what those differences are, then you're just a moron. Words don't really matter at the end of the day, but actions actually do. So it's not really what you say, it's what you do. It's as simple as that. But yeah, no, I'm still, like I said, Charlie was a big, huge inspiration. And I feel like since it's been a month since him being killed in cold blood, I want to make sure that people, realize that political violence needs to end, at least to some point. Just because people disagree with you doesn't mean you need to kill them. That's rough. That's disturbing. Why would you do that? We should be trying to look for peace with everybody. And also, stop with this common ground bullshit. Stop with it. I hate it when everybody's like, well, we got to try to find some common ground. You're human. That's common enough. Also, we should be celebrating the differences in people, not the similarities. We're so busy trying to find what makes us common that we need to actually try to focus on what makes us different and be cool with it. It's okay to point out differences. It is okay. And honestly, trying to embrace people for their differences is really the key. Not embracing them for what makes them just like you. And trying to find common ground, I think, is actually more narcissistic than people believe. I think that's the irony of trying to find common ground. It's really just a narcissistic tactic. And I don't like it. Miso Turtle Soup says, I think it's clear which side doesn't want peace. Exactly. I want to see people be peaceful. I really, really do. Like, I'm not even, like, I'm sincere in that. I want to see people just at least leave each other alone. You know? If you don't like somebody, fine. Completely get that. If you don't like them, just change the channel. Don't go to their speeches. If you want to protest them, that's fine. But if you're going to protest, just keep it peaceful. Keep the peaceful protests, okay? That matters. It matters a lot, man. But no, we can't even have peaceful protests these days. Which is, it's a crying shame. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button right here. More subscribers we get, the better. So just hit that sub button. Boom. We've been collecting a lot of subscribers lately. So once you hit that button, boom, boom, boom. A lot of good stuff happens when you hit subscribe. So I really appreciate it, you guys. Even doing this stream, we just got even more subscribers, which is unbelievable. The channel's growing. I think it's because people like what I have to say. I think people legitimately like what I have to say. That what I want to promote is positive, really some real positive thinking. Yeah, but there are differences that anybody can have that you can embrace. And Randy, I agree. That what you're saying is a major difference. But honestly, focusing in a positive light, you could focus on people's differences and make it a positive thing. Like, for instance, I may be tall, maybe some of you are short. That's a difference probably between a lot of us. I'm like 6'2". But it's a difference that, we can have fun with. We can embrace positively. When I play basketball against people who are shorter than me, I say that I'm a cheat code, because I'm a little bit taller, I'm like, I'm just a living cheat code. There's no talent here. That sort of thing. Having fun with our differences. I think having fun with one's differences is really the key. I think having fun with similarities, it's fine, but what makes us similar is kind of boring. I don't think that's really interesting, finding what makes us similar. I think finding out what makes us, why we're different, is more important. Because anybody can embrace similarities. If somebody likes basketball and I like basketball, like, hey, we got something in common. That's cool, but that's not, I don't know, embracing the differences. We don't always have to be, it's kind of narcissistic to have to always find similarities between two people, I just think it is. So I'm not interested in finding common ground with anybody. I'm more interested in what makes us different. I really am. And I'm sincere about that. And I don't see it as a bad thing at all. I like the fact that people think differently than me. I will argue with people, without a doubt. But at the end of the day, though, even though I'm passionate and I get really heated and sometimes a little annoying, know that I never want to harm anybody. That's the difference between me and a lot of people, sadly. I try to embrace that difference, that there's some people who are just violent, and I can't stop that, obviously. But the sad part is these people don't want peace. Just don't want peace, man. Some of these people don't. But yeah, I'm still a huge Charlie Kirk fan at the end of the day, and I think he was a huge influence on me. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button though, right there. Just hit it. Boop. Hit that subscribe button. Yeah, it's in the upper right hand corner. You know it. Yeah, like what Daniel said, if you want common ground, we all drink the same water. We are human beings. That's enough common ground that we need. But I think, trying to focus on differences is more important. And it can be more difficult, sure. It's easy to find similarities, but it's much difficult to embrace differences. So at the end of the day, do people really like differences? No. Sometimes I find myself having trouble with differences that people have to me. But not always. I still try to keep an open mind, and, I want to see people like I said, at the end of the day, my goal is to see people successful. One of the reasons I talk about investing as much as I do is because I want to see people become successful investors. That's the key. And I want to see people rock the world, man. And look, Charlie was a very intelligent man. I don't think people understand this. Just because he dropped out of college, people will constantly point out like he dropped out of college. Like, so what? I think he's ahead of the curve for doing that because he realized that college was a waste of time and he had better plans for others and himself. So him starting Turning Point USA, which was a massively successful and is still a massively successful organization, was the right direction. He wouldn't have been able to make that sort of money if he would have been a full-on college graduate. And besides, sadly, colleges are just indoctrination centers at the end of the day, which is an unfortunate reality. It's the one thing I don't like about most colleges these days. They're just indoctrination centers, baby. That's all they really are. Do you guys think that colleges are kind of indoctrination centers? Because I think so. I think that colleges at the end of the day just really train you to be a socialist or a communist, and a lot of the professors that go to most of these places or the teachers that teach at these colleges are really just communists at the end of the day, and it sucks. It really does. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I mean, most college classes these days, I don't even know. They just seem like a waste of time. And look, I think it's good to learn on your own. I think it's good to have a mind that wants to study and understand things at a deeper level. I'm not a professional software developer by any means, but my interest is software development. And I study what I can. I study good textbooks, go to the library, go online. I don't know. There's just so much information available these days. It's, you could be an active learner just from home, which is crazy to me. It's not crazy to me. It's a good thing to me. But you could be an active learner at any time. There's just nothing really stopping you these days. And hopefully people realize that there's really not that much stopping you. It's just true. There's plenty of things you can learn, plenty of things you could do. It's the best thing, man. Autodidactic learning, exactly. Here's the thing, man. I mean, I'm constantly learning, you know. I don't have like a ton of certificates by any means, but, you know, I'm learning things that help me make this channel grow, for example, learning marketing. I've become an expert in finance and investing because, one, I enjoy making money. Two, I also enjoy investing. I like sincerely enjoy it, and I'm lucky that I enjoy it. A lot of people find it to be a very boring subject, and one of the things I try to do is I try to make it entertaining for everybody. I try to be like the Howard Stern, the Phil Hendry, the Anthony Cumia of investing. I want to make it entertaining. I want to make it fun. So I kind of take that shock jockery, right, of some of those radio hosts that did the shock jockery and stuff. I take that fun and I put it towards this show. I want to make education hilarious, you know? And when you're learning something, you should be able to laugh. And I try to tell a lot of disgusting jokes because those are the funniest. Let's not kid ourselves. Disgusting jokes are hilarious. So this is probably the most professional, unprofessional show that you're ever going to get because I sound so professional, but really I'm just brofessional at the end of the day. And I know that it's you that's stopping me from falling, crashing down, losing ground, till I see you again. Well, I can't really find my pump at the moment. I can't find my pump. Do you guys know where my bathmate went? I need my bathmate to get this thing pumped. Can you guys help me find my bathmate? Where did my bathmate go, dude? The market went down, but I had the S-bit, so the S-bit went up like crazy, so that counterbalanced everything. I bet against Bitcoin because Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, so if the markets crash, it's pretty easy for me to bet against and then make some money. I bet against Bitcoin quite often because Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, the biggest Ponzi scheme of them all. Do you guys think Bitcoin is a Ponzi? I mean, I personally believe that Bitcoin is one of the biggest Ponzis of all time. Bam. Well, luckily the ball is still relatively pumped. But at the same time, it's like... I need my ball to be pumped. Pumped like a bathmate. Pumped like a bathmate. No joke. Pumped like a bathmate. Hell no. Pumped like a bathmate. No. This is the greatest rap song in the world. A rap song about a man who likes his bathmate. I'm sorry. If you want to discriminate, you're just a bad man. Don't discriminate against a man who just likes a bathmate. Cause everybody's discriminating. Everybody's discriminating. Why you being so mean to me? My bussy is the best. Bussy boys. Cause I'm a bussy boy. What you gonna do about it? I'm a mussy boy. What you gonna do about it? Everybody get off my junk. Everybody, I got junk in my trunk. Everybody get off my junk. Everybody, I got junk in my trunk. I may got a flat ass, but you could just get away from that. Why do you think this is fire? Because I'm the greatest rapper. Don't be a liar. I know what I'm doing. You could just sit down and call me Vin. I know that I'm the greatest of all. Even when I'm shopping at the Pony Village Mall. I got rhymes for days. I got the hazy craze. You better watch out now, cause I got these dribbles all day. I got the ball, and I got the ball. Got the ball, got the ball. So I'm trying to figure out where I put my pump. Look how flat that thing is. If so lately, I've been wondering who will be there to take my place when I'm gone. You'll need love to light the shadows on your face. So what up, everybody? I'm the GOAT, dude. LeBron James is only like what? Well, he's about 8 inches taller than me. He's got a bit of a leg up on me, for sure. You're watching it because you know it's. You want to help me find. I need help finding my pump. I'm trying to find my ball pump. I can't find my ball pump. Trying to figure out where the hell I put it. Do you guys know where I? Hello, Oro, and all your friends. What up, dude? No, he was one of the best, man. He was honestly one of the best, and I think that with the way that some of the people reacted out there to his death, it still shocked the heck out of me, man. I mean, I'm still to this day pretty in shock that people would still be as cruel as they've been, and just not fair. So, Olive says you're watching the Brad Ladkin. I'm watching the Brad Ladkin show, dude. Brad's my home dog at this point, you know? He may call me a liar all the time, but, you know, but Brad Ladkin's my boy, dude. Shout out to Brad. Brad, what up, dog? Liar. It just constantly says liar, dude. That's all that man knows how to say. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, though. By the way, we're going to be ending this stream soon, so if you have any super chats you want to say here soon, you have a chance, but hit the subscribe button, man. Hit that simp subscribe button. Hell yeah. So I'm on the coast of Oregon. Oro. I may have to take a big old fatty dump here in a second. Guys, I found it. I found the pump with the needle, but I think the might be a little bit screwed here. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so much for that idea. It's well, it's tiny, but might be able to. Ooh. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Oro. I need to find another needle. I need to find another needle for this bow. Well, next time I go to the Dollar Tree or wherever I go to, I'll have to... I could have swore I had more than one needle, but I guess that's all I got right now. All right, before we end the stream, does anybody got any last super chats? We got any last super chats before we end the stream completely? We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Last second super chats, everybody. I know I didn't actually do any streams yesterday. I'm sorry, Kimoy, but I am going to be playing some basketball for a bit. I got to get some exercise, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to doll myself up. I'll see you guys soon enough. See you in a bit.